Be confident, be bold, be authentic, but don't forget to take action. This is Ordinary to Badass, where our stories empower women to step into the spotlight of their own lives and pursue what they're truly passionate about. It's time to step into the arena and become more than just extraordinary. It's time to become a badass with your host, Marie Sonneman.
Welcome to Ordinary to Badass, episode number 78. In this episode, I'm going to be sharing why Haley Whitehead is so badass. In case you missed episode number 77, where I talked to Haley, you're going to want to go back and listen to it. It was pretty epic. We talked about her career in soccer at a D1 school, how she became a biomedical engineer, some of the adventures she's been on, and then mostly just her unshakable confidence. So stay tuned. You won't want to miss the reasons why Haley is so badass. All right. We're going to talk today about Haley being such a badass. And the first reason why she's a badass is she went from being on the bench to being a starter, to the way she deals with challenges. I love it. And then her degree and why she went the route that she went. And then also the fourth thing that's so badass about Haley Whitehead is how she turns off her self-doubt and kind of the process that she goes through when stuff happens. It's so cool. I love it. So let's get into the nitty-gritty. Haley is such a badass. She went to a D1 school, Texas Tech, to play soccer, and she found herself on the bench. Everyone else, or at least, sometimes it feels that way, like everyone else is playing and she's looking at the starters like, what the heck? And she committed herself to making it happen. She put in all the extra effort necessary to be able to get in the game. And so she talked about adding an extra fitness routine to her day, or getting with the coaches before or after practice and asking them for help, for assistance. Not everybody is willing to go the extra mile, to do the extra work. So that extra work can pay off. And then she said, not only did she do the extra work, but whenever she got the opportunity to play, she just was like, I'm going to shine. Whenever I have an opportunity, I'm going to shine. So then they're going to have no choice but to play me. So then during conference that year, she got played. Well, that sounds funny. She got played. She didn't get played, but she went from being on the bench to being a starter. She made a name for herself. She kind of became a celebrity at the school. I think oftentimes we get stuck in feeling bad for ourselves or feeling like the situation is hopeless and we don't know where to go next or what to do. Or we're like, I can't dig myself out of that hole. But a lot of times you can, but you just have to be willing to do the extra work. If you're not willing to, do extra fitness or ask a coach for help or ask your boss for help, a coworker, whoever it might be. If you're not willing to put in the extra work, then don't complain about not getting the results that you want. But I think that the more important thing is a mindset shift, because I know I used to be in the mindset like, oh, it's done. I suck, or if I had to work hard, I was just like, oh, I have to work harder than everybody else because I'm so stupid. Blah, blah, blah. How are you going to get better? If you're too busy going down that rabbit hole, telling yourself how stupid you are, then, you're probably not going to get a good result, right? So it's all about how you frame it. And I think that that's so important. So where in your life are you not getting the results that you want? Is there a way that you can put in extra effort? Usually there is. It's just about how bad you want it. Sometimes we want things, but we just want them handed to us. So if you're just wanting something handed to you, be okay with not getting the result that you want. But if it's something like that you just really want to attack or you really want to make happen, then get out there and put in the work. You got this. You can make it happen, but you got to put in the work. All right. The second thing that was so badass about Haley was how she viewed challenges and failures. Like, I thought her perspective was so stinking amazing. It just blew me away, and just a badass, right? Like, I often associate badass with like confidence, and she just has an energy about her. And she mentioned something about being cocky, but I don't see the cockiness. I just see confidence, and it's refreshing to see like confident women. I love it. So Haley said that she viewed like biomedical engineering, like it was hard, but she viewed it like a topic that she didn't understand, or she was competing in a topic that she didn't understand. Instead of, kind of like we said a minute ago, like going down that rabbit hole of calling yourself stupid, or thinking you're a failure, you're like, no, I'm just competing in a topic that I don't understand. So she said soccer and engineering were both like that for her. So she just had to work harder than other people. And she said, it's a competition of me versus the problem, not necessarily something that can't be conquered. And I'm going to say it again because I want you to get it, because it's so powerful. It's a competition of me versus the problem, not necessarily something that can't be conquered. If you see problems as something that you can't conquer, then you won't be able to conquer them. If you think that they're too hard or too complex for you, how will you ever figure it out? You've already kind of set the ground rules, right? But instead of thinking it's like so hard or not gonna, just think of it as a competition. Think of it as something you have to overcome and figure out. It's you versus the problem. Like, don't let that problem get you. You can solve that problem. But if you think of it as a competition or kind of like a challenge against yourself, like it's me against the problem, that's it, rather than talking down to yourself, you're going to reap so many more rewards. So I thought that was so powerful. It's a competition of me versus the problem. Love it. Third thing that I thought was so badass was Haley talked about going to college for soccer, and she wanted to go to a D1 school for soccer, but they didn't have biomedical engineering. They didn't even offer that there. And so she could have been like, oh, I'm just not going to play soccer. I'm going to move on, just because she really wanted to go into biomedical engineering. And she didn't. She found a different way around it. Wait a minute. I can go to this D1 school and play soccer, and I can go and get mechanical engineering. And then later, I'll go on and get the biomedical engineering when I get my master's degree. That's freaking genius, right? She didn't let it stop her. And then here's the other thing is Haley mentioned just seeing, she said it wasn't the best story, but I think it's pretty great. She saw something on Dateline about prosthetics and how you could help people, and it really inspired her. She knew nothing about becoming a mechanical engineer or biomedical engineer. She just saw something that inspired her and took action. You don't always have to know what it's going to entail or all of the hard work that is going to come your way, because there's going to be a lot of hard work. But sometimes it's better off not knowing all the details in between, because you could get in your own head and stop yourself. But if you just let your passion drive you and the things that are really important to you, let that passion, kind of light a fire in you. So you go do that thing, and it pushes you past the ordinary roadblocks that would come your way, because you know your why. You know the reason why you want to do it. And that's going to get you so much further. So I thought that was powerful. If you get your inspiration from a Dateline episode, from social media, from wherever, and it inspires you and you just go balls to the wall and take action, more power to you. Just realize that you can pivot. You will find a way. And that's with all problems. Like, it's not just school or getting a degree. It can be with work. It can be with life. If whatever problems come your way, Like, be an innovator. Think of a different way to go about it. You don't have to go about things the traditional way. You. Like, do things that work for you your way, and that's it. That's what Haley did, and I think we could implement more of that into our lives. So, where in your life can you be a little creative? Where can you turn something you always thought it had to be a certain way, but where can you do it a slightly different way that works for you? Think out of the box here. I think that you're going to reap great rewards, not just doing things the way everybody else has done them. Do what works for you. So, the fourth thing that I thought was so badass was how Haley said she turns off self doubt. She like turns off the switch. She doesn't go down the rabbit hole of self doubt or calling herself names or feeling bad for herself. And actually, her 3 questions that she asks herself, I love them. I absolutely love them. It just might be my favorite. So she said, how do I prepare better next time? What about the technical perspective do I not understand? Who do I go to that can answer this for me? That's so freaking awesome. I love it. It's like a 3-step process that when you don't know what to do or you have some doubt or you think that you made a mistake, okay, reflect on it to improve it for next time. So she said, like, if she's giving a presentation at work and she kind of fumbled her words or didn't do a good job and wants to improve for the next time, instead of getting sucked in that self-doubt, she switches her mindset and thinks of the future and what she can do going forward to make it better. So, how do I prepare better next time? What about the technical perspective do I not understand? And let me say, that doesn't have to just be because she's an engineer. There can still be a technical perspective of whatever it is that you're doing that you need to get like the technique down. So you can apply that there too. It doesn't just apply to mechanical engineering or biomedical engineering. And then the third question, who do I go to that can answer this? Oftentimes we put the weight of the world on our shoulders and think that we have to have all the answers. That's not where the good stuff comes from. The good stuff comes from like taking what happened, learning from it, and then improving it for the next time. That's badass. And then the more that you can find mentors and people around you who already understand it or who have went through what you're going through now, like that's going to help you. That's going to propel you. You don't have to follow their mistakes. You don't have to have the same problems that they had. You can learn from them. And a lot of times people are much more willing to teach you if they see that you have open eyes, open ears, that you're asking questions, that you're trying to dig in, you're trying to understand it so that you can be better and do better. Who doesn't want to help somebody like that? Most people do. Most people are willing to bend over backwards to help you when they see that you're working your butt off. So next time that you're having self-doubt and you're thinking about the mistakes that you just made, switch it to a forward-thinking mindset and ask yourself, how do I prepare better next time? What about the technical perspective do I not understand? And who do I go to that can answer this? So powerful. I know I said those questions several times, but I think that it's so important. I think that could really be a game changer. Just a way to flip the switch, change what you're thinking in your head to something more positive and something that fuels you to keep going as opposed to stopping you and sending you down somewhere that's hard to come back from, right? So, yep, I love talking to Haley. Total badass. Again, the reasons why I think Haley is such a badass is because she went from riding the bench to becoming a starter at a D1 school. That's no easy feat. 2 is the way she takes on challenges and failure is just amazing. again, she said, it's a competition of me versus the problem. It's you versus the problem. That's it. You got this. The third thing is how she was innovative with her degree. She went to a D1 school, got her mechanical engineering degree, played soccer, and then switched for her master's and got her biomedical engineering degree. It was badass. She was innovative and creative in what she came up with. And fourth, the way she turns off self-doubt and switches to a forward-thinking mindset. Did you like this episode as much as I did? Wasn't Haley a total badass? I would love for you to share some love with Haley. Let her know what you thought of this episode. You can find her on Instagram at Hayfowl, and that's HAYFOWL. So message her, DM her on Instagram, and let her know what you thought. Or you could message us both. Let us know what your takeaway is and give her some love. Tell her why she's so badass and what you took away from this. She would love to hear from you. All right. With that, we'll end the show. To all the badass women out there staying in the arena, wherever you are, whatever you are doing, own it and get after it.
Now that you've listened to this episode of Ordinary to Badass, we want to hear from you. Go to our website, ordinarytobadass.com/podcast, and submit your own experience on how you took your life from ordinary to badass and get the chance to be on a future Spotlight episode of the show. That's ordinarytobadass.com/podcast. While you're waiting for the next episode of the show, wipe off the sweat, dust off the dirt, and get back in the arena.